Day 2 of the Women Who Make Moves in Sports Summit. And let me tell you, Harvard is in South Africa and quite frankly, here. And today I've got Professor Anita, also known as my bestie. We're going to be asking her a few questions because she's given us an incredible morning with so much knowledge, so much education, and got us all involved. So I've got a few questions for you, and hopefully you'll answer them for me.
I'm going to try to do my best.
Thank you so much. One takeaway for South African women in sport on how to build a business and mindset. Please get it to us.
It's a big question. This morning we talked about cases on David Beckham and Francis Ngannou. And I think if there's a few things that come out of those cases, probably first is that the athlete brands are valuable assets, right? So I hope that the women in the room also realize that what they do represents value. Not just on the field or on whatever surface they do their sports on or in the water, but also off the outside of sports, and that they act accordingly. And then I hope that they have picked up from those cases that they need to think about the long term, that it's not just about short terms, especially when you do deals, not just think about the immediate now, but think about what's going to come in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years and how do I set myself up for success then. And then I also hope that they picked up as a third takeaway that you can't just think about how much value you capture for yourself, but you also think about how much value do I share with others. Because the more you do, doesn't mean that you have to leave all the money to others, but the more you think about how do I also make this attractive for my partner, the more you actually are incentivizing that partner to work with you, and that again leads to a long-term outcome.
That's incredible. One thing you've learned from the South African women in sports in the room, like obviously your style of teaching is having people respond back, like you said. What have you learned from just hearing their answers and where they're at with their thinking on the certain case studies that you presented to us today?
I was blown away by the level, just the level in the room, the intelligence that they brought to the table. It seems to me that many of them think like business people already, think like entrepreneurs, and I loved how they were able to make links between what we were discussing for these admittedly mostly American examples. Well, Francis Ngannou is not an American, but his decisions mostly took place in the American context. But it was really amazing to see them making a jump from that context to their own lives and their own sports and their own leagues. And so I learned a ton from today, and I hope they did too.
Okay, and then last question, is there an African athlete or an entertainer that you'd love to do a case study on?
Well, it's an impossible question.
Yes, you did say.
Because there are so many great examples. But if I'm forced to single one out, I would probably say Mr. Easy.
Yes.
Incredible
king.
Exactly, incredible musician. He was my student. He was a student in my executive education program, and so I know he's smart, and hopefully he's a little bit smarter now. And I think that would just be really incredible.
Well, that's incredible. Thank you so much for answering the questions. And also thank you so much for giving us so much information and just education, as I call it.
Come again?
Education. Cute way of, it's not a real thing, but it's a thing. But you really have given us quite a lot to think about and just to kind of digest, and a different way of thinking. And also I think having the conversation in the room with different perspectives of people in the same industry has been such a good open way to like have a conversation. So we just want to say thank you for coming here, speaking to us on Women's Day. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, and giving us a Harvard education.
Yes, I mean you're pretty much an alum now, so congratulations.
Been to Harvard, exactly. Harvard came to me. I didn't even have to go to Harvard. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anita.
My pleasure. It was a great day.
Thank you so much.